Okay. Now, you also face the Kaaba when you pray, right?
That's right.
Okay. Can I ask you a question for the love of God? Does Allah live in the Kaaba?
No, he doesn't.
Is his presence in the Kaaba?
Yeah, it's known as like the first house of Allah.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, not house. I'm saying, is his presence there?
I'm not sure what you mean. Like, Allah is everywhere.
No,
but
Muslims don't believe Allah is everywhere, depending on which Muslim you ask. The Salafi Muslim, because I still don't know if you're a Salafi or an Ash'ari, or the Salafi Muslim will tell you Allah is present with us by his knowledge, but Allah is not omnipresent because he's above the throne. Because in Salafi Islam, Allah has two right hands, he has a shin, he has a waist, and he has a face, and he has eyes. These are literal, even though they're unlike anything in creation. So what version of Islam did you embrace?
I assume that Allah was everywhere, that he was...
Who taught you that?
Well, I just assumed that from reading the Quran that Allah is omnipresent.
Yeah, see, that's because you've been influenced by your Christian upbringing to read into these statements what you thought were indications of Allah's omnipresence. But what I'm saying is that depending on which Muslim you ask, the Salafi Muslims, those who claim to be the followers of the first three generation of Muslims, they call themselves the Salaf as-Salih. Salaf as-Salih. They say we follow Muhammad and his companions, the Tabi'in, their followers, and the Tabi'in, the followers after them. Because Muhammad said, the best generation is my generation, the generation next, and the generation afterwards. And they say when you follow those three first generations of Islam, no Muslim, not even Muhammad, taught that Allah is omnipresent the way you just did. They taught that Allah is above the seven heavens, above the throne. He has actual eyes, actual hands, two right hands, actual shin, actual waist, even though it's unlike anything in creation, and he's only present with you by his knowledge. So that's why I'm wondering, are you one of these who embrace Ash'ari, Maturidi, which were influenced by Greek philosophy, which they mixed in with the Islamic theology, like the Sufis? So I don't know. But anyway, that's your journey, not mine. But put that aside. Let's forget that. Okay. So if Allah is omnipresent, that means he's equally present everywhere, right?
That's right.
And that means his presence in the Kaaba is no more special than his presence with you at your house, right?
Of course.
So I want you to hear what you just said. Let's go with your definition, omnipresence. If Allah is omnipresent, then that means he's equally present everywhere.
That's right.
And he's no more present in the Kaaba than he is with you.
Of course.
So then why do you bow to the Kaaba and not bow to yourself or to your house?
It's just a prayer direction, like just like how Jews pray towards Temple Mount.
Bad mistake, because the Jews believe God's promise that God said, I will dwell in this house in a very unique, special, miraculous manner. That's why they bow to it. Go to 1 Chronicles chapter 6. I'm sorry. Open your Bible. Go to 2 Chronicles chapter 6, verses 1 and 2.
Sure.
2 Chronicles chapter 6, verses 1 and 2.
Okay. Then Solomon said, the Lord has said that he would dwell in a dark cloud. I have built a magnificent temple for you, a place for you to dwell forever.
Okay. According to the Old Testament, when God commissioned Solomon to build the temple, he did so that God would then manifest his presence in a real, miraculous, unique manner, unlike any other place on earth. So the Jews knew when they were bowing to the house, it wasn't to the house. They're bowing to God who said, I now live here. Go to Matthew 23:21.
Doesn't that mean the God of the Bible is also not omnipresent?
No, it means that the God of the Bible can manifest his presence in a specific location in a unique manner that's beyond your comprehension, which means that when they're bowing to the temple, they're bowing to the God that's in the temple. But you just said your God is everywhere, so then why bow to the Kaaba?
That's what I assume, but it's just a prayer direction. It's what Muhammad did. It's what his companions did.
Yeah, but if you ask the Jews, Jews, why are you praying towards the temple? Because God swore in a unique manner that's beyond our comprehension to fully understand, he would live here in a unique manner. His presence would be here in a unique way, unlike any other place on earth, without meaning that God doesn't oversee all creation and sustain it. But this is what God said, so we take him at his word, though we may not understand how he does it, but he said he does it. Therefore, we're going to bow to the house and honor to the God who lives there. And then go to Matthew 23:21 to see that's what Jesus says. But you just told me Allah's equally present everywhere. He's equally present with you in your home as he is in the Kaaba. So then the Kaaba is nothing special, and there's no reason to bow to it except that Muhammad is adopting a pagan practice because the pagans did it. Matthew 23:21.
Sure. And anyone who swears by the temple swears by it, and by the one who dwells in it.
See, Jesus just told me he dwells in it. So, but you just told me that Allah is equally present everywhere. He's not more present in the Kaaba or present in the Kaaba in a unique way, in a manner unlike anywhere else. And yet you still bow to this cube that was an artifact of the pagans, because the pagans bowed towards the cube. The pagans ran around the cube 7 times. And yet you've been duped into thinking this is something that Abraham instituted. Can you prove to me historically, archaeologically, Abraham and Ishmael were in Mecca and they built the Kaaba? What proof do you have aside from Muhammad in the Hadith?
I don't have anything other than the Quran, but where did you get the idea that like pagans did the circling of the Kaaba?
How many idols were in the Kaaba?
365.
Why do you think there are 360 idols in the Kaaba? Because the pagans had no storage, so they decided just to put the stones there? The idols there?
I think I'm not sure. It has something to do with the calendar.
No, it has nothing to do with the calendar. It has to do with the fact that the Kaaba was a shrine for the god that they believed was the chief god. And they would come and perform rites in honor of the god, and then they housed their gods and goddesses there to honor them as well. Because if you're telling me they didn't perform these practices, which I'll show you they did from your own hadith, then how in the world did that Kaaba end up with 360 idols that Muhammad then later on destroyed?
I'm not sure.
Okay, now, so the whole point is, even your Muslim scholars will tell you the pagans before Muhammad would circumambulate the Kaaba, run around 7 times, because this was part of their practice. But they say that's because they inherited from Ishmael, who taught it to them, but then they corrupted its meaning.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an admission the pagans did it. But now you're trying to explain away, saying, well, the reason why they did it is because Ishmael was the one who built the Kaaba with Abraham. He taught his descendants how to perform the rites around this building in honor of the God of Ishmael, but then his descendants later on corrupted it and turned it into a pagan festival, and then Muhammad restored it.
That's right.
So that's right. So at least we're admitting the pagans did it, but now you need to prove it's not a pagan practice that originated from paganism, but from Ishmael. What's your proof?
The Quran says that Abraham and his son built the first house of Allah, and that's the
I'll
Kaaba.
give you $1 million to show me in the Quran where it says that's the Kaaba in Mecca. Chapter 2 of the Quran, verse 127 to 133. Show me where it says this house they built was in Mecca, and it's the Kaaba. Show it to me. Show me where it says Kaaba in Mecca.
Did you say 2:127?
Yeah, chapter 2, verse 127 to 133. That's where it says Abraham and Ishmael supposedly built this house. Where did they build it? Show me from the Quran. It says the Kaaba in Mecca. Read it to me.
Okay, so I'm reading it. And remember when Abraham raised the foundation of the house with Ishmael? I'm reading 2:127.
Yeah, where does it say?
It doesn't say where, but in the footnotes it says the sacred house.
I didn't know the footnotes was sent down by Jibreel. Gabriel brought down your footnotes? I don't care about your footnotes. Give me the text, the Arabic. Where does it say this house they built was in Kaaba in Mecca?
I can't show you.
Good. Now go to chapter 3, verse 96.
Okay, surely the first house of worship established for humanity is the one at Mecca, blessed sanctuary, and a guide for all
Okay, now
people.
prove to me Mecca is Mecca. Prove it.
I don't think I can.
Exactly. If you go by the Quran, you have no idea where Mecca is because there are many places that had the same name. And you have no proof that the house that Abraham Ishmael built is in Mecca, and it's the Kaaba. That comes from the Islamic tradition written 200 years after the death of Muhammad, or over 100 years after the death of Muhammad. So I want you to give me some conclusive, historical, archaeological, textual proof before Islam. Quote me some historian, quote me some archaeologist that uncovered some archaeological inscription before Islam and the Quran that says Ishmael settled in Mecca and built the Kaaba with Abraham.
I don't think I can, but do you think it might be possible that because this was an illiterate community, in Arabia, that they don't have preserved historical writings?
So you mean the pagans and the Jews, the Romans, the Greeks, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Egyptians, and the Jews would have been interacting with the Arabs. None of them would mention that there is this shrine in Mecca that goes back to Ishmael? These literate societies that have been around for thousands of years, because you're telling me the Kaaba was built at the time of Abraham. Well, that's 2,000 years before Christ. So you're saying 2,000 years from Abraham to Jesus, not a single mention of this holy house built by Ishmael or Abraham, not even from the Jews in their own writings?
I don't know.
Of course you don't know, because there is no proof. That's my point. You blindly followed the lies that you were handed by the Muslims.
Okay.
Okay, so the point I'm trying to get at is your religion is paganism. You bow to a structure. You don't know why you're bowing to it. The Jews knew why they were bowing to the temple, because God said, I'm going to be here with you in this house in a unique way, though you may not comprehend how, even though I oversee all creation. And Jesus says God lives in here. Now, put that aside. You're bowing to a statue or building. Your prophet kissed and smothered a black stone that he said became black from the sins of those that touch it, because it absorbs their sin. And that black stone is going to come to life with 2 eyes and a tongue to intercede for you. And you still think you're a monotheist. And this religion makes more sense than Christianity.
I didn't think about these things.
Yeah, because you blindly followed the lies of the devil. You owed it to yourself to first have studied the Gospels with an open heart and prayed, God, even though I was raised in a Christian home and I gave up on it, I'm now going to read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John with an open heart so I can see who this Jesus is. Because you're God, show me if this is the real Jesus, and if so, give me the grace to accept him. Instead, without going back to your roots, you ran to a foreign religion because you heard it makes sense without first studying. Well, hold on. Let me see how true are these things that they're feeding me. Let me go to the sources and see for myself, which you didn't do. You just blindly follow.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Go to Proverbs 18, verse 17. I want to give you some counsel. Proverbs 18, verse 17.
In a lawsuit, the first to speak seems right until someone comes forward and cross-examines.
So why don't you follow the biblical advice? Never settle for the first view. Hear multiple views and ask the Holy Spirit to show you which view is correct. See? The first to present his case seems right until someone comes and cross-examines him, which is what I'm doing to your religion.
Yeah, I didn't know about this.
Yep.